So in this lesson, I'm going to show you where to get the Merch by Amazon design templates and how to use them. These templates are very good in terms of getting your designs right, in terms of dimension, and in terms of where they sit in the canvas for them to look good on the product. So firstly, let me show you where you can get them from. You go to the resources section of Merch by Amazon, and down here you go to download product templates, click on it, and you'll find product templates for all of the products. So the first template, which is right here, is 4500 pixels by 5400 pixels, and it's for t-shirts, women's v-neck t-shirts, baseball t-shirts, tank tops, long sleeve t-shirts, crew neck sweatshirts, pullover and zip hoodies. And you've got templates for Photoshop, Illustrator and GIMP, and you can download them from right here. Just a quick note, here you've got pullover and zip hoodies back only, and here you've got pullover and zip hoodies front only. So make sure you download the correct template for what you need. The next template is the PopSocket template, which is 485 pixels by 485 pixels, and you've got Photoshop, Illustrator and GIMP templates here. And next you've got the phone cases template, which is 1800 pixels by 3200 pixels, and it works for both iPhone and Samsung phone cases, and you can download them from here. I'm going to go ahead and download a couple of designs from Vexels, one as a pattern and the next one as a design. I'm not sure if you know, but Vexels do ready merch designs as well, which is absolutely amazing. I'm going to leave you a link below so you can check them out. So first we'll start with the standard t-shirt. It's very simple. You simply place your design on the template to see how it fits in the product, check the color of the products against your design, and export. So as you can see, it says place your design here, hide this layer and save this tab as PNG. So we'll do what they're asking us to do. Basically, this is the artboard, and we're going to fit our design around here so that we can see what it looks like on the product. Amazing. And we can toggle different product types in this template so we can check how it looks on different products. So we place our design like so, and then we open the layers. Now the layers give us so much control over the template. This is the design we've just imported, which is this one. We can hide it and show it, and we can hide the layer underneath it so we can just see our design. Fantastic. Now we go to our products layer, so we can toggle different products. So this is the front of our standard t-shirt, this is the back of our standard t-shirt, the front of the premium t-shirt, the back of the premium t-shirt, this is the long sleeve from the front, the long sleeve from the back, sweatshirt from the front, sweatshirts from the back, and the pullover hoodie from the back. Just a quick note, both the back of the pullover hoodie and the zip hoodie have a different dimension from the front of the pullover hoodie and the zip hoodie. So we'll go back to standard t-shirt. Now we can change the colors to see how our design looks in different colors, and so on and so forth. As you can see, the orange disappears, so this is not going to be a good idea. The purple shows well. So prior to you selecting your colors on Merch by Amazon, you can actually import your design here to this template and check your design against the t-shirt colors to make sure that they look good, and that way you know which colors to choose on Merch by Amazon for your designs. Now we go to the next template, which is the front of the pullover hoodie and the zip hoodie. So if we're resizing, we have to change the dimensions, and we just shrink it basically like so and place it properly like so, and then we go to the design layer and hide this layer right here to keep just our design. Now let's move to the PopSocket template. Again, here you've got instructions, and here you've got the layers that you can control like previously. And the way it works is, guys, this is your artboard. Your design has to bleed over this. Your design cannot be smaller than this dimension. So I'm going to copy the pattern that I downloaded from Vexels here. So we import our pattern and we make sure we put it on top of our artboard, and we transform it, make it bigger so that there is a bleed over the artboard, because we don't want it to be smaller than the artboard. One thing I like to do is I like to lower the opacity so I can see below the layer. And as you can see, this is what's going to be in the main PopSocket. So anything inside of the red markings, as you can see, it says keep all text and images inside the red safe zone and extend your background all the way to the green bleed edge. I've just put the opacity back to 100%, and prior to exporting we have to make sure we turn this layer off. As you can see here, turn this layer off and put our layer back on, and now we're safe to export. One thing to note, guys, make sure you always have a background, and the way to put a background, guys, is I usually put a rectangle, I come down to transparency and lower the opacity so I can see underneath the layer. So now we have our background, but prior to exporting, make sure you put it back to 100%. If I'm going to have a main design, whether it is a graphic design or a text design or a quote, whatever it is, I put it inside of the red safe zone, and then I put the opacity back to 100% to make sure that I have a solid background. So this is our main design. We make sure we have a background. I'm going to open the instructions layer so I can see the safe zone, and I put my design like so, and basically I want to center it around this safe zone right here. And then I turn the instructions layer off, and then I turn my background on, and there we go. This is our PopSocket design done. Now we just need to export. Next, this is is the phone cases template, which works for both the iPhone and the Samsung phone cases. You're likely to have two types of designs. The first one is a pattern, in which case it's very simple. You just make sure you put your pattern around the template like so, and make sure that it's bigger than the actual artboard. And basically this would work for both the iPhone and the Samsung. However, if you have a design element or a text or whatever it is, you have to make sure that you put it in the safe zone. And there are two safe zones, one for Samsung and one for iPhone. And you have to place your designs differently for both the iPhone and the Samsung, because the camera is placed in different parts of the phone, and therefore you have to make sure that your design looks aesthetic for both phone cases. Let me explain. This is the Samsung safe zone. Why? Because the camera is this one right here, as you can see, and we cannot get out of this Samsung safe zone. This is where we have to put our main elements. Now, depending on how our design looks like, whether it is taller than it's wider or wider than it's taller, we have to make sure that we put it in a way that looks aesthetic. So if our design is taller than it's wider, we have to make sure that we put it like so, and imagine that this is the phone, this is the camera, and this is where our design would be placed. So ask yourself, does it look good? If it does, then leave it like that. If it doesn't look good, then make sure you change your placement until you're satisfied. However, if you have a text design, for example, that is wider than it's taller, where do you put it? Now, this is the phone, this is the camera. Where do you put it? Do you put it all the way down here? Then you'll have all this empty space, which doesn't look good. So make sure you put it somewhere, maybe around here. Make sure that it's centered horizontally, and I think this is a good place to put it. So can you see the difference between the two types of designs? The same thing with iPhone. Now, we have to do things differently when we're designing for the iPhone. This is the safe zone for the iPhone, as you can see in green, and I think if we had this design to work with, we can put it up like so, a little bit more, because we don't want to have too much dead space here. So now let's try with our graphic design for the iPhone that is taller than wider. So again, this is the iPhone safe zone. We put it somewhere here. This is the camera, not too much dead space, and we've got some space here, so it looks aesthetic, it looks in the middle, it looks good. So that you don't get too confused, let's go to the layers section. This way you can select product by product and check how your designs look on each product. So first we're looking at the Samsung cases here, and the layer that's showing right now is the S9 Plus. So we deactivate it, leaving us with just the iPhone case. As you can see, this is what it would look like on an iPhone 7 Plus or 8 Plus. The beauty of it, guys, we can actually select different types of iPhones. Look, iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 11, XS Max, that kind of thing. But all the iPhones have the same safe zone, and all of the Samsungs have the same safe zone. You can show the guides or hide the guides if you want to look at how your design would look on a particular phone case. Last but not least, make sure you always have a background underneath your design. By default, I think it comes out white, but if you want to have a black background, for example, you have to make sure that you put your background. So I select the rectangle tool, and I come here and draw my background, and I put it underneath my design. So the layer of the background has to be underneath my design, like so. And if I want to see the rest of the guides, I just make sure I select my background, and I go to transparency and lower the opacity so I can see the rest of the guides, like so. Or turn the opacity completely down. I usually keep it around 20%, 25%, just so I can see the guides and the safe zone and all of that. And once I place my design however I want to, I turn the opacity back up, and I go to the layers, and I turn off all the layers, and I just keep my design and my background, and then I export. That's it. So this is how you do it, guys, for Illustrator. But you can do the exact same thing with Photoshop and GIMP. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, because I'm just going to be repeating myself and repeating the process. If you know how to place your design, show or hide layers, etc., it's the exact same process, guys. To be honest with you, designing with Merch by Amazon templates and working with them in general is a little bit tedious. I have a much better way, and it's even simpler. We use Merch Informer Designer. You can either make your designs there and export from there, or bring over your t-shirt designs that you have sitting there and change their dimensions to suit other products. So for example, if we're going to design for a t-shirt, we go select product, and then you make your design right here. So let's say we're designing for pop sockets. You've got the red safe zone, and you've got the green bleed edge area, which is fantastic. So you can keep your design within here, and you can bleed over your background over the green edge. You can add a background underneath your design and just go over to download and download your design like that. Very simple. Let's go change the product. Let's go to phone cases. Same thing here. You can put your background all around this artboard right here, and you place your design in the safe zone and make sure that it looks aesthetic, and you download. I'm going to go over this in detail in a later session, but for now I just wanted to introduce you to it. I'm going to leave you a link to Merch Informer Designer down below, so make sure you check it out.